guys, welcome to another active stretch and recovery with core moves. So today our session is going to be Pilates, and it's going to be a Pilates sequence that brings a little bit of energy into your body. So maybe you've had a long week or a long day and you think you just need that kick of endorphins. It's fairly gentle but also intense at the same time. I know that doesn't make sense, but you'll understand once you've finished the workout. It's 38 minutes long, and it just go with it, move at your own pace and allow it to bring that energy into all of the muscles of your body, getting that mobility in your joints, and then just letting those endorphins keep translating through the body when you're finished. So we're going to start standing up with our feet directly under our sit bones and hip distance apart. And just pick up your toes straight away. So just find that grounding through the heel and the balls of the feet, or the strip across the ball of feet. Pull up on the quad muscles and roll your shoulders down and back. Maybe turn your palms forward for a minute. And just find this strong standing pose and relax the toes down. Creating that length in the spine. Then turn your palms to face your hips again and flick your right hand out to the side. And then tilt your left ear towards your left shoulder. Feeling this nice gentle stretch. Don't force it. Just a little gentle stretch on the right shoulder. Pulling the navel in, starting to connect that pelvic floor and breathing in through the nose. Expanding the ribcage and out through the mouth. And drawing that ribcage down and in. And then lift the head, drop the wrist. Flick the left hand up so you feel like you're pushing the heel of your hand into the floor. And drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Inhale in through the nose and out through the mouth, like you're blowing out a candle. And then drop the fingers and lift the head. From here, we're going to just bring our hands to the front of our thighs and begin to gently bend our knees until our hands touch our knees. So a little bit of a squat here. And from there, you're going to nod your chin round through the upper back, push into your knees, flex your spine, and look between your thighs. So you're in your angry cat position. Inhale, send your tail away, push into your knees, wake up those shoulders, roll them down and back. Send your heart forward into your cow. Exhale, curl the tail under, scoop the abdominals, push into the thighs, angry cat. Inhale, lengthen, tip the pelvis forward, draw the ribs away from the pelvis and the sternum shines forward. And then exhale, curl and push into your heels and stand all the way up. Roll your shoulders down and back. Bring your hands back to the front of your thighs. Slide the hands back down the thighs as you come back into that squat. So you can stay here in this squat. Or if you want to and you feel comfortable and supported, you can float your hands up till they come to shoulder height. And then exhale, just stand tall. Breathe, let your shoulders pull away from your ears and regroup that body. And we're going to do that again. Inhaling so you can continue just to keep your hands at your knees. And then exhaling, standing tall. But this time, draw your hands back behind the midline of your body. So you bring the shoulders into a little bit of extension. Inhale, hands slide down the knees or in front of you. Exhale, draw them back. Inhale, exhale. Move with your breath. Move at your pace. That might be a little bit faster or a little bit slower than me. Think about the intrinsic muscles around the shoulders, your rotator cuff that pulls those shoulders back. But don't let your hips thrust forward with them. And then come back to neutral, roll your head forward, come into a half fold. So a little bit of a ragdoll pose here. And then exhale, roll yourself back up and come back into those squats. This time come down and stay in that squat, and you can pulse it here. Just slowly and gently. Again, you can have those hands on the knees. And we're just focusing on keeping those knees equal distance away from each other every time we pulse. Just warming up those thighs, the calf muscles, the feet, the belly. 2 more pulses for me. And then this time when we stand up, we're going to bring the hands into extension and the right leg into extension. Bring the leg back, slide the hands forward or to the knees into your plie. Lift it up, pull the hands and the leg back. So you're using your glute to pull that leg back. Inhale to squat. Exhale into that one-legged extension. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Remember to find that length and balance from your core in your spine. Everything centered to the midline of your body. Last one for me. Exhale and then drop the foot, nod the chin. Roll your spine forward. And just stay again in this halfway fold. Breathe here, expanding the rib cage. And then roll the body up. From here, we're going to move into like a flamingo pose. So that same extension that you had with the leg and the hands, come back into that right-legged extension and then begin to tip the body slowly forward. And you might find that that's too much for you and you need to keep that back leg down. That's totally okay. You might need to bend your front knee. That's totally okay. Or you might be able to completely lift the body, finding that balance on the left leg, using those intrinsic muscles in the feet, in the lower leg, your glutes to kick that right leg back behind you, your shoulders pulling down and back, opening the front of the collarbone, and then use your core and the glutes on the left leg to pull you back up to standing, and just give your legs a little wiggle on each side. And then this time we're going to come into a full forward fold, so just nod your chin, roll all the way down, soften your knees if you need to. Inhale, exhale, roll all the way back up to standing. Slide your hands back down your knees into that squat position. Make sure your belly's pulled in and you can stay here or reach your hands in front of you and then stand up and extend. Just to a straight line. We're not doing the shoulder extension, just to squat and extend. Focusing on the back of the thighs to create that straightening of the legs. No thrusting of the hips as we come forward, come up. We don't come forward. We stand tall in our nice neutral line. Down and lift. Good opportunity to check those knees are tracking over the middle of the toes. Last one. Stand tall and lift the shoulders back into that extension. Again, don't thrust the hips forward. And then come down and extend the shoulders. Again, the knees, the hands can just stay at the knees and then come up to extension, or they can come up to shoulder height. We're only doing this one more time here. Inhaling as you come down, exhaling as you lengthen. Keep that collarbone nice and broad for me. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. And then nod the chin and come into that halfway fold. Stay there and breathe for a minute. Let the body just kind of sway and move with your own breath. And then roll the spine up. Hands slide down the front of the thighs again into that squat. And then lift the hands out to chest height. Or keep them at your knees if you need to. And just some little pulses. Finding that connection again between your inner and your outer thigh. Just a quick glance down and check they're going over the toes. You don't have to be deep. It can just be a little micro bend. You might even come from up to a little pulse, just a gentle bend in those knees. Whatever feels comfortable for you. Try not to crowd the hands together. Keep them nice and broad so your collarbone smiles at you across the room. And then we're going to come up, pull those hands back into extension. This time extend the left leg. Bring the foot down into that plie. Stand up tall, connect the belly, connect the muscles in the back of the shoulders, pull everything back. Step and plie. Lift and extend. Glutes, core, and back of the shoulders working to pull the leg back. Your right leg is working to find that nice support. Warming up those muscles for our flamingo, or our warrior 3, or one-legged balance. And then drop the knee, nod the chin, halfway forward fold for ragdoll. And then roll back up, all the way up. Pull the hands back into extension. Pull the left leg back into extension and hinge the body forward. Only as far as feels comfortable for you. concentrating on that centering of the body, lifting the hands back behind you, using your left glute to lift that left leg, finding that stability in the right foot, the right shin, the right glute and hip. Keeping that left hip down and square towards the floor. And maybe you need to come out of it and then regroup. Maybe you need a soft bend in that right leg. Just move to the space that feels good for you. You might even decide you need that front leg bent a bit and the back leg, just the toe touching to find your balance. And that's okay as well. Focus on drawing those shoulders back and opening the chest and the heart. And then last exhale, pull the body back up to your neutral standing position and roll all the way down into your full forward fold. From here, soften the knees, bring your hands directly under your shoulders and step your feet back to move into your pike position or your down dog. But bend your knees. So keep this bend in the knees. Get your ears really nicely framed between your hands. And then straighten the knees and push your heels down, stretching the hamstrings, stretching the back of the calves. And then bend the knees. And one more time. Push the heels down, straighten the hamstrings, find that nice deep stretch. From here, we're going to do that sort of angry cat position as we roll the spine up towards the ceiling and ripple the body forward into a plank. Now, if you need to, you can bring your knees down. Otherwise, keep the knees up and just focus on grouping your plank, widening those shoulder blades, lifting the middle of the spine up towards the ceiling, connecting the glutes and pushing the heels away. Then from there, I want you to drop the knees, turn your fingertips in ever so slightly, lift the head, and slowly begin to bend your elbows into your push-up. Now, if push-ups don't feel comfortable for you in your elbow, you can stay in your plank position and just hold that plank and challenge it. Otherwise, we're just going to try and keep the body nice and long and connected as we perform our knee down push-ups. Squeezing the glutes. Keep pushing the heels away and tucking the toes under so we stretch the arch of the foot. So a little bit different than we would normally. Relax the top of the foot into plantar flexion. Push fully into the arms, but don't hyperextend them, so keep that little micro bend. And move with your breath. Inhale to lower towards the floor. Exhale to push away. Last one for me. Inhale down. Exhale to push away. And then push your hips back onto your heels. And come back into your 4-point kneeling. So hands are under shoulders, knees are under hips. And from here, we're going to reach our right leg back. And then lift the right leg up to hip height. Try not to sink into the left side. Square your shoulders, square your hips, and find that nice long line in the leg using the glute. And then just tap it down to the floor and lift it up again. Reaching that foot away from the hip bone, keeping both sides of the waistline really nice and long. And if that's too much on your wrists, you can come down to your elbows, but try not to sink in the belly and lose that long neutral spine. So you're just working through that glute there, keeping the spine nice and long and neutral. Alternatively, you can roll the edge of your mat up under the heels of your hands. And this time we're going to hold it there, and you're going to pulse, little baby pulses. And your leg might not be as high as mine. It might just be a couple inches off the floor, and that's okay. Just gently paddling the foot up and down, nice and comfortably at your own pace. Try not to sink over to that left side. Really find the control in the right glute, the left oblique, both shoulders. Last 3, 2, 1, and drop it down. Pull it in, push your hips back. Little baby child pose. And bring yourself back into that 4-point kneeling. Curl your toes under. Keep the knees bent as you push your hips up. Frame your head. And then with all your power, push your heels towards the floor and straighten your legs as much as you can into that down dog. One more time, soften the knees towards the belly. And then push the heels Once you're comfortable in that down dog and you've stretched enough, we're going to roll the spine again, rippling all the way through to that long plank line. Pull the navel away from the floor, around through the shoulders, lift the head, push the heels away. Find that connection in the core, in the lats underneath the arms. Breathe. You can drop your knees if you need to. And then we're all going to drop our knees, but keep our toes curled under and turn the fingertips in ever so slightly, or you can keep them facing forward and pull those elbows in nice and close into your push-ups. So if your elbows are in close, they're tricep push-ups. If you turn them in, your elbows come out like two bottom points of a star. We've got this slow inhale. We go down for 2, 1, push away. Inhale, 1, 2, push away. You can move into that child's pose at any time if you need. Just stretch those shoulders or take a rest. Push away, keep the belly pulled in. Exhale, push away. Keep that connection with the ribs, the glutes, the shoulders, the core, really energizing through the whole body. Push-ups are great for that. And then when you finish your last one, push your hips back down towards your heels. And then come back into your 4-point kneeling. And you'll need to adjust your hands and knees so you're back, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Find that nice long spine from your tail to the crown of your head. Nice flat neutral back, a little bit of a dip in the middle of the lumbar spine. Widen those shoulders and then reach that left toe back. Find the length in the leg as you lift it up to hip height or lower. Don't come higher. And then finding that connection with the belly, we're going to tap that toe down, squeeze the glute and lift it back up. Tap and lift. Draw the pelvic floor up and keep lifting through the waist the whole time. That strong connection through the right hip to stop you from sinking over to the right side. Finding that balance and stability using your inner and outer thigh. Lift. And now we're going to pulse. Gentle pulses. Try and keep the leg in parallel. If you feel you're sinking over to your side, just drop your foot down, regroup yourself, and then lift it again. And pulse. Breathe, inhale, and exhale at a normal pace. People tend to, when they're pulsing, and move with the rhythm of the foot. Just move at your own pace. Maybe you need to slow your pulses down to match your breath. That's okay. And then drop that foot down, pull it back in, hips to heels, just for a quick little child's pose. Pull the belly away from the thighs. And then unravel the body back to a 4-point kneeling. Curl your toes under, glue your belly to your thighs, head between the ears, and push those heels into the ground as you straighten the legs into your down dog or your elephant. Pull the knees in and straighten the legs, stretch the hamstrings, stretch the calves. Inhale and exhale, and then lower the knees back into your 4-point kneeling. This time, turn the feet so that they come onto the top of the foot, so you're in plantar flexion. Make sure those hands are under the shoulders, body in neutral, and then we're going to do a cat-cow again. So inhale, tilt the pelvis forward, lengthen the sternum away from the hips, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, tuck the tail under, scoop the abdominals around through the spine. And then inhale back to neutral. Push your hips back onto your heels and then slide your hands back so you're sat on your shins. And then come up to kneeling. Now for this, you might want to pad your mat under your knee, or you can, if it's comfortable for you like this, if you're on a soft surface, and you can glue your toes together and keep your knees hip distance, or you can keep your feet equal to your hips. That will depend on your knees. We're going to stack the body up in that nice long position and pull the glutes down towards the heels to get that strong glute connection. And then float the hands up to shoulder height as we hinge the body back just a little bit, nice and gentle. Exhale, come back up, stacked on top of the body. Inhale, hinge it back. Exhale, pull it forward. Inhale, nice little thigh stretch. Exhale. Keep your collarbone relaxed and your shoulders down and back as you sweep those hands forward. Exhaling, coming back up. Try not to crowd the hands towards the midline. Keep them shoulder width or wider. Last one for me. Exhale, back up to center. And then from here, staying in this position, we're just going to slide our left hand down our left thigh and sweep our right hand up overhead into a gentle side bend to the left side. Lifting the body on the exhale, drop the right hand down to the right thigh. Inhaling, slide the right fingertips towards the right knee. Exhaling, lift the left hand into a side bend. Stay there. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, stack the body. Exhale, lower the hand. Inhale, slide the left hand. Exhale, lift the right hand. Reach overhead. Stay there. Inhale into that right rib cage. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, stay. Last one. Slide the hand. Lift. Side bend. Lift. And lower the hand. We're going to come seated here as comfortably as we can with our feet firmly on the mat. And you're just going to sit up so really nice and tall on those sit bones, your hands on the front of your knees. And then we're going to curl the pelvis back just behind the sit bones and look right between the space above our knees, so our lower thighs. And then inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, roll it back, look between the thighs. Inhale, lengthen up. We're going to add the arms on. So we're going to inhale, roll back, lift the hands. Exhale, open the hands out to the sides, pushing the chest forward and extending the shoulders and the spine. Inhale, fold the arms in like you're hugging the moon, curl and look between your thighs. Exhale, lift and open the chest. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep pushing those big toes into the mat. Don't forget about that connection with the back of the thighs. So feel like you're sliding your heels towards your hips, even though you're not. Last one for me. Inhale. Exhale. And then inhale, come back, and then roll the body all the way down to the mat, to your hands, or down by your sides. Your spine is nice and relaxed, and slide your heels back until they touch your fingertips. Make sure your knees are hip distance or would fit an apple between them. And we're just gonna roll our spine all the way off the mat, one vertebrae at a time into that bridge position. Inhale, exhale, roll the whole spine back down, one vertebrae at a time, and release to neutral. Inhale, exhale, roll. So really articulate each vertebrae. Try not to lift up in one piece. You want to feel each vertebrae being massaged into the mat as you move with your breath. And don't let your knees wobble side to side. Keep them firmly facing the sky, using your inner thighs. Last roll for me. And rolling down, finding that control in the glutes, in the waistline. This time we're going to roll up and stay up. From there, turn your palms to your hands face the floor, and tabletop your right leg. And then kick it up to the ceiling. If you can't fully extend it, you can keep a little bend, that's okay. And then you're going to flex your toes towards your face and drag that heel down an imaginary wall. Point the toe and lift. Keep pushing into that left heel as you drag the right heel. Point the toe, stretch that big toe away from the hip, like somebody's trying to pull that leg away from the shoulder, away from the hip. Inhale, drag it to exhale. And if that's too much for you, by all means, drop your hips and keep your spine long and neutral as you lower and lift that leg. Otherwise, we're challenging that left glute, challenging the obliques with that long lever. Last time, drag it down, point and lift, bend the knee, bring the foot to the floor, and roll the spine back down, one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, exhale, let's do hip rolls again. Rolling it up, turn your palms to face the ceiling, open up that collarbone, massage massaging the vertebrae. Move with your own breath. Don't worry about how quickly or slowly I'm moving. I'm talking so my breath isn't quite with its natural breathing pattern. I don't quite get the same benefit as you because I can't just use that strong exhalation to invite my transversus into the equation. Keep your sternum soft as you roll up. Engaging the glutes. Last one, roll it up. So soften that chest and then exhale, melt it down, release to neutral. Now we're going to roll it up and keep it up. So massage each vertebrae, take your time, make sure your knees are hip distance, find that glute connection, that nice stability. Turn your palms to face the floor and then tabletop that left leg. Flick the toe up to the sky, then bend the toes towards your face and dorsiflexion and drag that heel away from the hip. Point the toe and sweep it up. So think about your foot being a paintbrush and you're dragging the heel and then sweeping the bristles like a painting. Down the fence, up the fence. Keeping both hips lifted, drop them if you need to. Come down to the floor. Keep the ribs soft and just focus on the core engagement. Otherwise, keep those hips lifted. Challenging the glutes, challenging the core, keeping the sternum soft, almost there. Last one. Sweep it up, bend the knee, place the foot down, articulate through the toe ball heel, and then roll down. Massaging each vertebrae. Inhale back into that neutral. So find that neutral spine. And then turn the palms to face the ceiling, back into our hip rolls. Roll the spine away from the floor. Inhale, exhale, roll the spine back down. Maybe even bring your hands between your thighs and check, are my thighs traveling side to side with the movement? Or are they staying really nice and connected and engaged? Or you can push into the outside of your thighs and see. You can touch the front of your hips and see if you're swaying or rocking those hips, or if you're staying nice and still. You can put your hands on your belly to see, am I articulating, am I engaging those deep core? Or you can just relax the shoulders and move the spine with the breath. Really great for opening up those vertebral spaces. Last breath, not your last breath ever, just your last breath in your hip rolls. Roll yourself down. And then hug your knees into your chest and just stay there and breathe for a minute on your back. Okay, let's lift those legs back up to tabletop and we're going to engage our belly and open our hands out to the sides. Not quite a T, a little bit lower than a T with your palms facing the floor. And you're just gently going to lift the left hip away from the floor as you rock your right knee towards your right hand. Don't come all the way down. We're just trying to control it with our abdominals and then exhaling to draw it into center. You'll be able to tell straight away if you need to lift your hands a little bit higher. It will depend on how far you go, but you want to keep that shoulder glued to the floor. And then use your abdomen and your exhale to pull you back into center. Twist to the right and into center. Twist to the left, inhaling, getting a nice little massage in your glutes. Exhaling to center, especially with those roll-ups or hip rolls. This time, twist to the right, and then if it's for you, straighten those legs and hold. 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees. Find the belly over to the left, and then extend the legs and hold. 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees and pull them into center and hug the knees into the chest. From here, we're going to bring the feet down to the floor and just walk them gently away from the front of the hips. Find that nice long neutral spine. Sweep the hands up towards the ceiling. And begin to sweep the hands, flex the spine, nod the chin, and roll up into your ab prep position, or your hundreds, modified hundreds. Keep reaching those fingers towards the toes, holding that core connection, inhaling, And then exhaling, gently lower the shoulders and the head. Sweep the hands up towards the ceiling. One more time for me. Inhale, exhale, sweep the hands, nod the chin, flex the spine, curl up. Keep that pubic bone lengthening away from the shoulders so that you stay in neutral and keep your belly really nice and flat. Inhale, don't jam that chin into the chest. Exhale, lengthen down, hands up to the ceiling. And then from here, bring both hands back down to the mat. Let's tabletop our right leg. Push the lower back in the floor, flattening that lower back. Pick up the left leg. Bring your hands to the back of your knees, nod your chin, flex up, and look towards your knees so you're in that curled half ball position. We're going to do single leg stretch. So pull the right knee in, straighten the left leg away. Inhale, exhale, swap legs. Inhale, exhale, swap legs. So move with your breath, using your glute to straighten and lower that leg, using your core to keep you lifted. A little bit of ab challenge in the middle here, waking up our abdomen, energizing our lymphatic system. Make sure you finish off equally on both sides, then hug both knees in. Kick both feet up towards the ceiling. Remember, you can have a little bit of a micro bend if you need to, and we're going to do scissors. So stay flexed up, pull the right knee into the nose as you send the left toe away, and switch. Stretching that left hamstring, reach the right toe away, and switch. Keep the body nice and still and controlled, using your core. So don't forget, your core is finding you that stability here. Your glutes and your quads are working to flex and extend that hip, but your core is keeping you stable. Your chin isn't jammed into your chest. Keep drawing those ribs down towards the hips. Almost done. Keep breathing, inhaling and exhaling with every switch. And then both feet up towards the ceiling. Bend the knees, bring your head down, bring your hands down to the sides of your thighs, and then kick those feet up to the ceiling again. From here, we're going to lower and lift. So drag your toes down as far as you can maintain that flat back, and then inhale, sweep them back up. Exhaling, drag them down. Inhaling, lift them up. Now, if you're comfortable there and you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, you can flex up and bring your hands behind your head and lower those legs down and lift them up and lower them down. Keep that back connected to the floor. If that's too much for you, bend the knees and just tap one foot, tap the other foot. So whatever feels good for you, move at your level. Last one for me. Lower those legs and lift. And then hug those knees into your chest and give yourself a gentle rock side to side, massaging both sides of the spine. Maybe even drawing a little circle with the legs. And then the other direction. And then we're going to roll over onto our belly. And create that nice long line on the mat. So our fingertips are going to be aligned with our eyebrows. Our arms are aligned with the edges of our mat. Our belly is nice and long. Pull our navel pulled away. And then send those toes away from the hips. Maybe let them point out and your heels in. Lengthen the back of your neck. Inhale. Exhale. Push into the floor. Lift the sternum. Lift the chest, pull the sit bones back down towards the heels. Breathe, lengthening the spine, pushing those big toes down. And then if it feels good for you, you can try and challenge yourself to lift those hands. If that feels good for you, you can pull your hands back towards your hips into your breaststroke. 3. Breathing, lengthening the body. If you need to, bring yourself down. Turn your head to one side and then regroup. Push into the floor, lift the spine, and then lift the hands. Maybe extend the hands. So move to your level, and then let's all come down. If you turned your head to one side, turn your head to the other side, and then push your hands into the floor, push your hips back onto your heels into your child's pose. From there, let's just stay for 2 nice deep breaths. You can relax your elbows if you want. You can relax your hands. Regroup that Pilates breath. And then pull the belly away from the front of the thighs, stretching out that lower back. And then lengthen the spine, reach your hands forward, and push yourself forward onto your 4-point kneeling. From here, you can stay in your 4-point kneeling, and then push your hips forward to your knees down plank, or you can send your right foot back and your left foot back. And we're going to hold this plank, shoulders nice and wide. And you're just going to gently dip one knee in and then dip the other knee in. Now, if your knees are already down, then you might want to try and straighten one leg, straighten the other leg. Maintaining that stability in your plank, finding that connection between your core and your glutes every time you straighten that leg. And then drop both knees, push your hips back onto your heels, gentle stretch. Pull the belly away from the thighs, stretch the lower back. Reach the hands forward again, look towards the hands and then push into the knees, come back to that 4-point kneeling. Again, into the knees down plank, or send your right foot away, really push that heel away, and then send your left foot away. Now once you've got that nice stability, we're going to just flick the right foot to bring it to the same height as the hip, and then drop it down. Flick the left foot and drop down. If you're in your kneeling plank, it's the same thing. You flick and lift, drop it down. Flick and lift, drop it down. So whatever option you're on, really trying to control those shoulders, the core, the glutes, maintaining that stability. Keep going. Last one, then drop your knees and push yourself into your child's pose. Lengthening both sides of your waistline. And then roll the belly away from the thighs, stretch that lower back. Then stretch the hands forward, look to the hands, push into the knees, come back to that 4-point kneeling. Curl the toes under. Push your head back behind, between your ears into that crouch down dog with your knees bent. And then power those heels into the floor. Stretch the back of the calves. Stretch the back of the thighs. Inhale. Exhale, soften the knees, look to your hands, and walk your feet gently towards your hands into a forward fold. Stay here and breathe, and you might need your knees to be soft. You might want to bring your hands into your elbows. And then if your hands aren't in your elbows, we're going to connect them into your elbows so that your arms are interlaced. And inhale, exhale, roll up through the middle of the body, stacking the spine and bringing the hands up overhead. From here, you're going to gently bend the right elbow towards the floor. So side bend to the right. Then nod the chin, look to the outside of your right foot, roll through the spine, through the center, look to the outside of the left foot and roll up on the left side. Side bend to the left side, look down towards the left foot, roll, look between your feet, look to the right foot, roll up on the right side. Little windmills here. Side bend to the right, roll through the spine. Keep your knees soft, lift up from the left. Last one, side bend to the left, roll through the spine, lift from the right, and then lower the hands down towards the hips. Gently slide the hands down towards the knees into that little squat from our start position. And let's do that same cat-cow 3 times. So tuck the tail under, scoop abs around the spine, look between the thighs. Inhale, drop the pelvis, lengthen the sternum away from the pelvis, pull the shoulders back into your angry cat, your cow. Curl the spine, exhaling. Inhaling, sinking, and lifting at the same time. Last one. Exhaling, curl. Inhaling, lengthen, shoulders back. And then exhale, curl, push into the heels, stack the body, roll those shoulders back, and you're done. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you feel that although it was quite slow paced, it was hard, but it was also relaxing, and you can feel the energy moving through your body. I find that's a really great workout for me whenever I'm feeling just a bit sluggish. It just makes me feel like, woohoo, I've got a little bit of adrenaline moving through me. So I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you again.